The Philadelphia 76ers were dismantled by the Boston Celtics on Thursday night, but that is a good thing. The Philadelphia 76ers continue to execute their plan, and that plan should be to lose every game the rest of the season. Have the highest chances that you can of securing a top six pick in this draft. Because as we know, if the Philadelphia 76ers lottery selection falls outside of the top six picks, it will go to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So from here on out, the Philadelphia 76ers goal should just be to lose every game. But you can also look at that through some positive light as well. There was a couple good roster developments last night from two players that are looking like they will be pieces on the Sixers team next year. And we're going to get into that here. But big picture wise, Sixers just need to continue to lose. The Raptors are kind of right there neck and neck with them in the standings. Raptors have some easy opponents coming up that they could get a couple wins over. If the Philadelphia 76ers continue to lose, obviously those odds will increase that they will go into the top six. Any win is a bad sign for this team. Right now, you just want to see losses and good development from these young players, whether it's Justin Edwards, whether it's Quentin Grimes, whether it's Lonnie Walker, who we're going to talk about shortly. Yabusele continuing to play well, hopefully. Adim Bona may be looking like a long-term backup. The goal is to lose games, but do it with these young guys getting good developmental minutes, developmental reps, and having a chance to make a name for themselves, showcase themselves to be a part of the team for next year. When you look at the roster, though, the box score from last night, a pretty encouraging performance by both Justin Edwards and Lonnie Walker in last night's game. Lonnie Walker, for sure, his best game as a Sixer, 17 points, knocking down 5 shots from beyond the arc. And Justin Edwards, 14 points. He hasn't played that great, I think, since getting converted to that full standard NBA deal after being on a two-way and really shining in some moments. But he had an encouraging performance last night, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. And I say this, half jokingly, half not. But it's you just kind of got to laugh at the situation sometimes where it's like, all right, the Philadelphia 76ers have been trying for years to build a roster around Joel Embiid with cheap, affordable kind of role players. And if I feel like for the first time in the Sixers kind of process era since Joel Embiid has become the face of this team, they actually have done that. Whether it's guys like Kelly Oubre, Quentin Grimes, Lonnie Walker now starting to play better, Justin Edwards, all these young guys and a nice supporting cast, and Joel Embiid isn't even able to take the floor. Like, you say it half jokingly, half not, but it's just a Sixers type of thing, Sixers type of situation. But I think for going forward into next year and looking to the future, obviously it all hinges around the health of Joel Embiid and this franchise getting back on track and being a contender. It's going to come down to his knee, his foot, every injury that you can name. For Joel Embiid to just be able to be on the court to play, 50 to 60 regular season games and be healthy for a playoff run, hopefully. But when you look at the roster next year and the rest of this year, as I've kind of called these next few weeks, a couple months left of the season, it's like basically showcase time. It's tryout time for a spot for next year. Do you earn the coaching staff's trust, whether Nick Nurse is back or not? Do you earn the front office trust or not, whether they're back or not? You're putting on tape for not only the Sixers, but other teams potentially going forward. But for the Sixers' purposes, you're looking to find your way into the rotation for next year. And the two guys that I highlighted there with Justin Edwards and Lonnie Walker on very affordable contracts for next year. And if you are able to get a 6'7" wing like Justin Edwards, athleticism, has shown the ability to shoot the ball from downtown on a very cheap deal. And then you also go with Lonnie Walker, who you're able to pluck from Europe and get on a really team-friendly deal for the rest of this year and a player option for next year. Those are massive. The Sixers haven't really had these type of athletes on the wing, whether Lonnie Walker plays the 2 guard, Justin Edwards a 3. I think you can kind of, mix those two guys together as good wing kind of pieces going forward for the Sixers team, at least as they head into next year. Both are under contract for next season. But when you look at a guy like Justin Edwards, his contract here, Lonnie Walker's contract here, cheap. Like, you're getting these guys for basically a combined like $7 million, I think it is, for the next 2 seasons. And that's highway robbery for a team that has 3 max contract players in Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey. You have an up-and-coming potential star in Jared McCain, and then you got these 2 cheap guys on deals that are proven to be able to provide a spark kind of off the bench or provide good minutes. And then we're not even talking about Quentin Grimes yet either. You have to look at that as kind of an encouraging sign, an encouraging light as you're in a really dark time as a Sixers fan, as a really dark time with the franchise as a whole. You have to look at those kind of situations as pluses. Hopefully they continue to play well over the course of the year. Lonnie kind of struggled. He had 13 points 2 games ago. He has by far his best game last night for the Sixers against his old team in the Celtics. And then Justin Edwards as well, as I talked about. He's been up and down, but he's had some really good and encouraging moments. And these are both guys that are former top 5 kind of recruits in their class. Lonnie Walker, a heavily recruited guy. He almost went to Kentucky too, goes to Miami, one and done there. And he's had a nice, solid NBA career. But just once again, it's a role player. You don't need him to go out there and be a star. Justin Edwards, the same thing. I think you have to like what you've seen out of him and his development thus far during his time with the Sixers and in his minutes. You look at his contract as well. As I said, you're getting basically, all right, $5 million total for Justin Edwards over these 2 years, a club option next year, and then Lonnie Walker is getting $3 million. You're getting these two productive players that combined for 31 points last night on basically a combined $8 million deal over 2 seasons. Those are two highly productive, I think, role players that are going to be good pieces for this team going forward. I do hope to continue to see their development over the rest of the season, but that's something that I think you kind of got to look at a positive light. You can't look all negative here. I mean, this is a guy, Justin Edwards, undrafted free agent, still only 21 years old, looking better and better in certain situations as he continues to get more reps. But 8 points, 3 rebounds, shooting about 38% from 3, 47% from the field. Got a mature game too, confidence. I've loved what I've seen out of him, and he was a player I was really high on coming out of the draft. I just thought Kentucky kind of wasn't the best fit for him. I thought potentially he could be a better NBA player, and luckily for him, with the injuries to the Sixers roster, he was given an opportunity, and he's made the most of it, already having his 2-way deal converted to a full-time standard NBA deal. So you really got to like, I think, what you've seen out of Justin Edwards. Lonnie Walker, a bit of a slow start, but he's starting to pick it up. Two out of the past 3 games in double-digit points, hitting multiple three-pointers, and these guys are going to get plenty of run and plenty of opportunity coming up over these next few weeks. I think for sure Tyrese Maxey is going to get shut down in the coming weeks. He's dealing with back injury. He's been dealing with finger injuries, and without a doubt, Paul George. The Sixers' goal, at the beginning, as I said, should be to lose every game going forward. Just give yourself the best chance of getting in that top 6. It's not a guarantee, but this team isn't going to the playoffs anyway. Even if they somehow did go on a run and make the play-in, you're going to get swept most likely in the first round. It's not worth it just to say that. Joel Embiid has already been shut down for the season. It's tryout time. It's showcase time for guys like Lonnie Walker, for guys like Justin Edwards, Jared Butler, Adeem Bona, Ricky Council seems kind of be in the Nick Nurse, Daryl Morey doghouse, was barely getting any minutes last night, even when they were down 30, 40 points. He gets in towards the end, but these are the players that have an opportunity to make a name for themselves and state their case why they should be in the rotation next year when, knock on wood, that the Sixers are back to being fully healthy with Embiid, with Maxey, with George, with Jared McCain. Who are those other guys you can count on? Quentin Grimes has certainly made himself a lot of money. He got himself a bag over these past few weeks. Does he re-sign with the Sixers as well? Who knows? That's something that we're going to have to decide and figure out in the offseason. But it's still a plenty of opportunity for a guy like Lonnie Walker, for a guy like Justin Edwards, to continue to develop and make a case why they should be the 6th or 7th man, off the bench next season for the Sixers, or the first or second guy off the bench, 6th or 7th man kind of in the rotation. I think that's really how you kind of got to look at it over these next few weeks. It's easy to just look at everything as a negative, but if you're going to be watching, you're going to be tuned in, you're going to be following, at least kind of look at some of these positives. And I think from last night's game, from last night's loss, Lonnie Walker and Justin Edwards' performances are something you can kind of look at and be like, okay, that's a positive sign for going forward for the Sixers team. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Does Lonnie Walker or Justin Edwards stand a chance to be in the rotation next year? Do you like both of these guys? Could you see them being a key piece on the Sixers once they're back to full health next season? Let us know in the comments below. Drop a like, drop a subscribe. Let us know what else you want to hear about. As we said, it's kind of grim right now in Sixers land. You can only come on here so many times and say that they're struggling and they just got to get healthy. So looking for some other angles to hit. Let us know in the comments what you guys think below. And next time, we will be talking to you next time here on Sixers Digest.